Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to compare dog culture to Christianity, and we're going to look at something called the fishers of men. This is something that Jesus promised his people, and it has to do with being an evangelist, seeking other Christians or just other humans. So we're looking at this Christianity.com page, and it gives a pretty good description of this. And as I read it, the way that I understand it, like the practical application in modern culture, it means to look for people that you can help, that can help you to develop bonds, to change your ways a little bit. Like sometimes you have to be self-reflective. Sometimes you're not 100% right. You have a lot of good ways and a lot of good habits, but sometimes you don't understand the world perfectly. And so you cast your net out to find people to help you be better, and you also find other people that you can help. And in the long run, the way that I'm reading this, it means that by helping all these fellow humans, you boost humanity in such a great way. Something it mentions is don't worry about rotten fish. This makes sense too. Like sometimes you meet your fellow humans, or sometimes one of your family members is just super narcissistic, and if they're rotten and they're just not going to be a good part of your life, then you can't keep bringing them back and bringing them back and wasting time on them. But don't worry about that. Continue with your efforts, and that's where the repair the net part comes in. It's like you gotta change the net up a little bit. If you're not bringing in the kind of fish that you need, then you got to repair your net. You can't just like, oh, whatever, I'm tired of it, I don't care, I'll just go over here and sit around with a bunch of rescue dogs. That's how I'm reading this as I compare it to dog culture. Cast again is like basically keep trying. Just because you had a bad marriage or a bad relationship or whatever, it doesn't mean you need to go home and just forget about it and just adopt a bunch of dogs. Okay, you don't need to sit around and be like, well, dogs are better. I don't need any humans. So this whole thing about um, casting the net and being a fisher of men, I don't see anywhere in this that dog culture can support it, because you have to seek your fellow humans, and if you don't, you're going to end up having problems. You're the joy that you have, the fulfillment that you can get from life, the people around you that can help you when you fall short. The more that you don't seek out people, the less that you have to help you. And so this is our modern dog culture. This is a little look at our modern dog culture. Dogs are better than humans. Dogs love you so much. Dogs are better than humans. Dogs are better for people's mental health than anything else. So how can you as a Christian seek out other Christians? How can you be uh, like an evangelist? How can you do that when you're sitting around worrying about dogs and consuming this type of media that dog culture puts out? Like, for example, take any church out in America that has maybe 100 members or thousands of members. All of those people are going home to pet up on their dogs, stroke up on their dogs, pick up their dog feces, clean up after their dog, buy another couch if their dog chewed up. All of this stuff that they have to do for dogs. How can you be a fisher of men? How can you connect with your fellow humans when you're constantly replacing human connections with dogs? Now, some people are going to read some of these little things, oh, science says. So what's this guy talking about? He's full of crap. He doesn't know anything. Science says that dogs are better. Okay, we've seen this before. Science. Smoke you some cigs. Science says. We've seen this type of advertising before. So who do you think pays for all those supposedly scientific studies that dogs are some kind of magic antidepressant and dogs make you get more human friends? Who do you think paid for those studies? Yeah, people that want you to be home alone, worrying about your dog, buying more dog products, connecting less with humans. So, science. They've used this kind of type of stuff before. This little dog marketing that you see, this is a weasel word. It's an anonymous authority. It's a word or phrase aimed at creating an impression that something specific and meaningful has been said. That's all that dog marketing is. It's just like this cigarette marketing. Another example. Look at this. It's the doctor. He says camels are fresh. Give your throat a vacation. A vacation from what? Having good breath? Wow. So here's another good example of a point that I'm trying to make here. Trends in loneliness among older adults. So if you start studying up loneliness in older adults, you'll see that there's worse and worse problems with it. Okay, now they do give us a graph here, and it looks like, okay, it's lower here than it was over here. But if you look back through time, it's like this loneliness among these older adults, it gets worse and worse. And so, like with the fishers of men thing, you're supposed to be looking for companionship. You're supposed to be looking for social contact. You're supposed to be looking for contact with people from outside of your household. So, like the fisher of men thing, you're supposed to go out and seek other people, seek other groups, seek other perspectives in life. But you can't do that when you're sitting at home thinking, well, dogs are better. And another thing about this healthy aging, people are constantly saying, oh, just get a dog for grandma, just get a dog for grandpa, because, oh, that's what they need. That's the companion that they need. And then what happens? Their house gets stinky. Many people even get killed and maimed by these dogs. And guess what else? These women, the older women and older men, they have stuff like dementia and other balance problems, inner ear problems, and they trip over their dogs and get ankles broken, hips broken all the time from having dogs in their house. So as this loneliness goes up, as this contact with people from outside someone's own household and other contact, as all of that stuff gets worse and worse, and we put more and more dogs in people's houses, guess what? This fishers of men thing is just being torn to shreds by this dog culture. You got lonely senior citizens in their home with more and more dogs. They're lonelier and lonelier. They got more mental problems. They're tripping over the tops of dogs more, falling, breaking their bones, having to go to the hospital, causing stress in their life. You got people running around putting these type of stickers on their house, on their Facebook page, on their YouTube channels that have millions of views. This is all tearing apart the whole fisher of men thing. So read that. 21,000 seniors are treated in emergency rooms for falls related to pets. And if you read further in here, it's like 80 or 90% of those are from dogs. So that's not a fisher of men. That's putting your senior citizens at risk because you're too lazy to go visit them, so just give them a dog. So this is basically an open question to pastors and other Christians and other people in the dog culture. You know, is supporting dog culture actually a Christian habit? I don't think it is. I think dogs in society make all kinds of strife for humans, not just the ones I mentioned in this video, but I'll put some examples in the description if you want to look. See y'all later.